So, I have a special delivery. And if you guys don't know, my whole heart, my soul dog, Monza, he passed away on Easter. I had to bring him in the morning to put him to sleep. And that was probably, if you can believe it, one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do. We recently moved into a new temporary home, and I was really excited for him to have a backyard and his sister to have a backyard, because we've been living with my parents back and forth between both parents for the better part of 2 years. And as a 33-year-old woman, like, that sucks because there's no privacy. And my Monza was special needs, so he had something that was called degenerative myelopathy, which basically paralyzes the dog, him, from his tail and up. It's not painful. It's actually, because of the paralysis, it is painless, but it's really sad to watch, because Monza, when he first started showing signs about 2 or 3 years ago, was only 4 years old, and started with him just being a little bit like a baby giraffe, kind of, and then he started to kind of drag his paws a little bit, but like he never was completely back leg paralyzed. His tail was definitely paralyzed. It would wag from the top, but very straight. Normal tails, they go like that for Great Danes anyways. About a year ago, he basically became stool incontinent. Miss Carrera, hey. And that sucks. I was living with my parents, so can you imagine, like, me with 2 Great Danes, and now one of them is shitting and doesn't know. It was like in the middle of the night, and like he just didn't know he did it. It was crazy, and he was always like, he looked so ashamed. So I made a promise to my dogs. I will always forever make a promise to all of my animals that they're lifers. I think a lot of other owners would see that their dog didn't realize he was having accidents, and especially one of his size, right? Because it's a Great Dane, purebred, pretty skinny. He started to lose a lot of weight when the DM kicked in, but he was eating and all this stuff. But like, they would see that and they'd be like, damn, that's a lot of poop to clean up every day. But I had put him through a lot. I had put him and his sister through a lot, and I don't have children, so I figured, based off of the very nomadic gypsy-like lifestyle that I had put them through for the last 4 years, I guess, that I owed it to him. And again, he was super happy, and besides like him just not knowing that, and you know, having a few falls here or there and being afraid to go up the stairs, like, he was good. He was good. He was a happy dog. So he started to like deteriorate. It went downhill. It wasn't fast though. Like, everything that I read on the internet said it was going to happen really fast after the stool incontinence, but it didn't. That lasted a year, and it was really, really, really trying, because it really limited my ability to do a lot of things. Go out, stay overnight places, because then I would have to ask, you know, my parents to not only take care of 2 giant dogs, but take care of 2 giant dogs, one of which is for sure going to have accidents in his disposable or washable diaper. But we made the most of it. Bought the cutest little diapers that were, they're actually pretty big. They had a little tail hole, and they were, they looked like Carhartt material. And I was always like, we gotta put on your work pants, dude. And he would wag his tail at the top when I would go and put his tail through the hole, and it was like a little thing. We had rituals, and that is one of the hardest things that I don't have anymore. Um, oh, I would start the day every morning laying on the floor with him and his sister, and I would do affirmations with him, um, like from the movie The Help. Like, you were strong, you was handsome, you got strong legs, and we did it every day. And that's gone. Over the course of the last, let's say, 15 days, 5 days prior to him needing to be put down, he stopped eating when we got to this house. And I just thought it was like, new territory, whatever. But he would only eat like human food, and then he stopped eating that altogether. And it was weird. It was really hard because I just wanted him to eat so bad, but he wouldn't. Steak, cheeseburgers, nothing. So I just slowly watched my dog, just fade away and get skinnier and get skinnier and get skinnier. He would drink water. He would get up, he'd go potty. And his breathing was pretty shallow and not rapid. He wasn't in any distress. And it looked, because I'm familiar with like how like end of life breathing and stuff is, it looked, and to me, and it looked like to my mom who's a nurse, that like he was probably going to go in his sleep, and I'd wake up and I'd find him. And to be honest, as selfish as it is to say this, like, that was what I wanted, because I didn't want to have to make a choice, because thinking about that was like, life altering, even the thought. So it was probably a whole week of that, and it was Friday and Saturday, and I'm sitting at home by myself with my two dogs, and I had dog pain meds, and I was keeping him comfortable, even though he wasn't in any pain and he wasn't struggling to breathe or nothing like this. But I just didn't want him to. I wanted him to feel good and like, it's okay, mommy's here, you're good. But he kept getting up to go to the bathroom, and he kept trying to be like such a strong boy, even though his body was like completely disintegrating, and he was skin and bones, like dogs that you see on rescue sites that have been starved. And I'm like, okay, Gandhi, like, dude, it's okay. I slept with him for a whole week on the floor. I had heart-to-heart conversations with my dog, like, it's okay, you did a really good job for mom. But he wouldn't let go. And that was really hard, because Sunday was Easter, on the 20th, and I was gonna have to sit at home because I couldn't move him with the dogs and be at home with my dying dog on Easter, not with my family. And I just like knew that was like the right time. Ironically too, like, Easter is my favorite holiday. And Easter was a big catastrophic moment for me 2 years ago. For all of me and him and Carrera, like, our life got completely upended. So I had to make that decision, and it wasn't easy. I called my dad. He came over, called my mom, and she was, actually, I think she was already here. She stayed the night on Saturday. So the feeling that after you make this mental decision that you're going to put your, like, literal soul dog to sleep is, I don't know how to explain how I felt. It was like out of body experience. I needed to take a shower because I hadn't showered in a few days, and I'm like walking around like I don't know how to like put my clothes on, and it was crazy. So we take him in a blanket, a little blankie stretcher, and we put him in the back of my Jeep, and I jump in the back with him, so he was with his head like on my lap and looking up at me, and very like his eyes are open and he's not whining, and he looks like my boy. He just looks tired and skinny, and I realized that his eyes, the white of his eyes, had started to turn yellow, and they were jaundicey, so his liver was failing, and that was the first day that I noticed that. His kidneys had kind of went a few days before, which was drinking so much water and peeing a lot. But yeah, so then we took him there, and my dad brought Carrera with in his truck, and they take him in the back and they put the catheter in his arm, and I know some people will be like, oh my God, how could you stay in the room? And I just don't, my question is like, how could you not? Like, that's your baby. Monza would whine if I wasn't in his line of sight. So, they do that, they bring him back in the room, and Carrera's in there, and she doesn't know what to do. She has no idea what's going on. She's also 10, so that's her little brother, She used to think he was this shithead because he would just run around and be so stupid and piss her off. And now she has to watch and say goodbye to him, and it was crazy. It's me, my dad, and my mom in the room, and the people leave, and I'm like, oh, Carrera, like, is your brother, give your brother a kiss. And she literally licked his face. I was like, oh my God. So, yeah, that was really sad, but also at the same time, it was like real closure. I don't know what she feels. I don't know what dogs feel. I know what my boy always felt, but Carrera is a little more closed off like a cat. So my dad took her out and put her in the car, and, it was just me and my mom, and we're just all talking to him, and, what do you say to your dog? Like, sorry that I moved you around so much. Sorry. I felt horrible that he never had, like a real consistent home and felt safe. And all of that, those like feelings of like disappointment in myself for him, like kind of came like rushing in at that moment, which was crazy because I know that I did the absolute most for him, and I know that he was very thankful. He showed it. And so, it's how long can you just sit there when you're waiting on the inevitable? So the lady comes in, and, I don't know if you know how it goes, but they give him, like sleeping medication so that they fall asleep. And then what they do is they give him a dose of, I think they give him more sleeping medication. I think it's, maybe I'm wrong, but essentially they overdose the dog on sleeping medication, but he's sleeping, doesn't feel anything. Okay, I have his big ass head in my arms, and I'm kissing him and holding his paw and all of that stuff, and then, he goes like limp, and I don't know if I have like ever loved anything or felt love the way that dog gave me and made me feel. And so it's really difficult to even like talk about this, but it's like I was so happy that he was sleeping in at peace, but I was so sad that I had to leave him. And I stayed in there for, I don't know, maybe 10-15 minutes, just kissing him and smelling his face and smelling his paws. It's crazy because the last couple of years being as insane as they have been for me, there's been moments of extreme sadness and, questioning purpose and just overall shit. Real shit. And the only thing that made it better that I knew was to just get down on the floor and lay there and spoon my dog and put my face in his. And it was like instant Xanax. Took any panic attack, anything where I was just super overwhelmed, I would just go down the floor and huff my dog's face, give him kisses, and talk to him in a stupid voice. And I was so scared to leave that room because I was like, I'm never going to smell that smell again. And that was scary to me because I realized in all of this and the days following how much I depended on him to regulate my emotions in those moments. I realized that there's a striking similarity to like addicts who drink when they're sad and get drunk to numb the pain. I don't think that being addicted to my dog's face flaps and his Frito paws is anywhere near as destroying and just bad for a human being that a drug and alcohol addiction is. But the similarity is this: it's that because I had him, I hadn't focused on developing, strengthening the tools that are in here that would get me through these moments when he's gone. And it made me realize that I can't depend on anything else to regulate me. And this is the first time I'm having this realization, right? Because it's like I have family and they're supportive, and I'm not a big hugger with my family, maybe with my dad and my granny and stuff, but like me and my mom are not huggers. Some people, like, hey, mom, give me a hug. It's not who I am. And I have my boyfriend, but it's not his responsibility, to hold all of that and make it better. Because the only person who could truly make it better is me. Even Monza, my boyfriend, my family, all of them are just pushing it back down with love. They're using their love to just push the sadness back down, but I'm not dealing with the underneath part that will keep bubbling up, that has bubbled up. The last 10 days have been fucking insane. I did not realize, aside from him not obviously being here and knowing that that's what the outcome would be, his absence, yes, of course I miss him. But I didn't realize how many unintentional, thoughtless, just automatic things I did throughout the day that involved him. I mean, my ears are like sonar because anytime he would get up, I would hear his nails click, or he would make a high-pitched whimpering noise if line of vision was gone. So now I'm hearing like birds outside, and I'm like, my body is like, oh, I gotta go make sure he's okay. Or I'll hear her get up, and I also didn't realize how many moments throughout my day for so many years I gave him love just in passing. Sit on a meeting at my desk for an hour, and maybe my social battery's a little bit low, and I would just go and get on my knees and give him a kiss and sit there with him and tell him how cute and handsome and strong-legged he was. Or going to take a bathroom break and coming back and just running my hand over him and, squeezing his face. Hi, Mommy loves you. There's so many of these moments. So many things that I used to say every day, and little rituals that we did that I can't do. And that's been the hardest, is those. Because again, it's just one of those things where I realize how much more work I have to do on myself to be able to regulate my own emotions. So that's what I've been dealing with. I did go see, I needed some boy dog love, and I went to the Huntley Animal Shelter. They have a Great Dane there that's less than 1, and swear to God, he's got the same eyes. He gives love with his face and kisses, and he's just so good. Oh, he's so cute. But I don't know if I can do that right now, because Carrera is also not doing well, and I don't know if I can bring in a puppy and feel okay about it and give the puppy enough love, and Carrera. But back to the original, why we're here, the unboxing, if you will. My baby is home, and yeah. So I don't know if you know this, but it's hella expensive to get your dog cremated. I don't know if it depends on size, but I think that the actual putting him to sleep and getting him cremated was like $800 or something like that. And I obviously was not going to not have my baby's ashes. So thank you to my mother and father who decided to split that for me. I don't know, dude. Can't cuddle with an urn, you know? Monza Firenze. There's a card. I got some nice flowers. I don't know. You can see them. You can see them over there from my company, my 2 bosses. Made me feel so great. I've been getting a lot of cards from all of the dog places that we use. So certificate of cremation in loving memory of Monza. If I have to read another Rainbow Bridge thing, I think I'm just going to lose it. Did get his paw print, and that is something that I really wanted because obviously he's a Great Dane and they're real big. A little stand. Ugh. It's so good. Oh my gosh. Oh, if you can see it, it's so bright. See how big it is? Well, that is going to stay on my desk so I can look at his stupid feet all the time. I'm glad I got that. Isn't it amazing that, well, he was 111 pounds when we brought him in. And it's the last time I had him weighed. Prior to that, he was like 130, 133, 125, like somewhere in there. Reduced down to this. So, I got just a lot of different urns to pick out, and I was just like, I don't know. So I got one with a picture frame spot that's like wood and stuff, so I can put our picture in here. And yeah, here's my baby. Oh my god, it's fucking ridiculous how stupid this is. I'm glad I can't see the ashes because I'm just way too weird where I'd want to just like look at them. But I will say I'm going to have a piece of jewelry made. It's like a ring that is
it's like his ashes. They put it in the band in one around, and they seal it, and then in the other there's like a two-part band. The other part you put his hair in there and seal that. And I don't care if anybody thinks that's weird. I'm not gonna wear my dog's ashes around my neck in like a little vase. Um, so I'm gonna do that and make it cute so he can always be with me, because you know a lot of people have dogs and they probably think that their dog is the best, and they're not wrong because their dog is the best to them. But um, Monza was just supposed to come into my life as a foster, and the moment I saw him, I was like, shit. So, thanks for listening, and sorry that my feed has been so sad lately. I did not anticipate this right now. Anticipated it, wasn't ready for it, but that's how things go. So I'm gonna figure out what photo I'm gonna put in here, and then put him somewhere, maybe next to my bed or something. I don't know. I don't feel like I want to carry it with me all the time. It's not heavy, but I don't want to be weird. Yeah, well, thanks for doing this with me. Gotta start doing more stuff alone, so this makes it at least a little bit easier.